Uh-oh.
Inside.
That will be a great addition to the video.
I agree.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to go through my bag. With the recent switch to Innova, I have completely changed everything that I'm throwing. I'm trying new molds, and I'm just like feeling every disc that I come across right now. The bag's changing all the time. It's constantly changing, but I want to take you guys through and just kind of show you the initial blueprints of it. And then later on in the year, we can come back through and see what's changed. Also, guys, this is going to be an entire in the bag of me being like, shout out to this guy, shout out to that guy. So get ready. The community's been so welcoming for me with the switch that I made, and I'm getting a lot of amazing discs, and I'm so grateful to all of you guys that are out there that have given me discs recently. It's been crazy. But to start off with, I'll go with my putters. I got these sweet 11 time period KC Pro AVRs right now. These are sick. They've been nicely beaten in. You might be like, where the heck did you get 11 times already? Switching like 2 weeks ago. But Clint Calvin knew I needed some good putters. We were talking about it. He said, one sec, let me go to my car. And he hooked me up with the perfectly worn KC Pro AVR. So that's what I immediately started putting with. They've been pretty good so far. I've made a lot of long putts already with them. So they do good from distance. They have a little more glide than the PA3s that I'm used to. And they also have they're deeper, a little bit deeper than the PA3s that I have been putting with for 5-6 years now. So good little start here. KC Pro AVRs, you could expect it. So next up is throwing putters. And I immediately step up to this JC AVR. This was given to me by my friend Dave from Minnesota. They are out of the Harder Park Disc Golf crew. So if you're out there at Harder Park, I played the league one time. It was a really good time, but that's where this came from. Really beat up, but so smooth and trustworthy. I'll throw this on all my putter approaches, whether I'm 125 feet or maybe even all the way up to 280, I'd say. I will be throwing the JC AVR. This thing's sweet. All right, if I need some stability, some stability on top of that, I have this Color Glow AVR X3 given to me by a friend out of BRP. I forgot the name, but I think his name's Chris. Thank you, Chris, for this. This is a sweet disc. It's really overstable. It's very trustworthy. I'm still learning it. It's a new disc in the bag, but the first few throws with it have been really nice. Next up, Jake Hebenheimer gave me this really flat, looks like metal flake plastic Toro. This is my replacement to my Distortion. It's a touch deeper, I would say it feels, but the torque resistance for sidearm approaches is fantastic, that's what I'm doing with this mostly, is sidearm approaches. So hit it hard and flat and get it to carry straight for most of the flight and then finish dependably to the right. I would say I stretch it to about 300 feet at most with this disc. This is awesome disc right there. All right, and my discs in the main compartment are split up into categories, the speed category basically. So I've got my mid-ranges, my fairways, the slow fairways, I've got my hybrids, and then I got my distance drivers. So we will start with the mid-ranges. First one given to me by OTB East, Steve. Thank you so much. This rock is fantastic. It's my flippiest rock. It's got some really late flip to it. It is an 11 time and it's juicy. I'm going to throw this until it cracks. So thanks, Steve. Next up, I am absolutely loving this DX rock given to me by the OTB West guys. Thank you, Aaron. Shout out Aaron and Danny. But this one's got a Windbreakers stamp on it, a Windjammers stamp on it. Sorry, boys. And this thing is just awesome. Right when I felt it, I knew I was going to like this. It has like the Rock Plus feel to it. It's pretty flat. I don't like totally flat for rocks. I like a little bit of a dome on it. So, yeah, this thing, if I hit it on a touch of hyzer, it will go straight and carry straight, just flipping the whole entire way. I'll throw this on the majority of my mid-range shots. All right, so the step on top of that rock, that DX rock that I've got right there, is this Rock 3 given to me by the man Calvin Heimberg. Calvin, when he found out I was switching to Innova, immediately, as soon as he got home, sent me a box of gems. So if you can imagine getting a box from Calvin Heimberg, it was better than you could even imagine. He sent me insane discs. This is the first one of them. This has 0 turn to the right. It goes straight forever and then just slow falls to the left for me. Super trusty disc, even in the wind. So I throw it often. Yeah. Next up, we've got the Galleon from the Emerson Keith Galleon. This is a Whippet X. And it's really flat top and insanely overstable. I kind of call it a mid-range because it's got that same mid-range distance to it. But this is like a good chip shot disc. Should be pretty useful for whatever utility shots I might need. Yes! All right, so those are my friends Otis and Chico. I'm in Des Moines right now, and we're at Ryan Mapus's house. He lives here with his wife Heather, and they are fantastic. Every year I come to Des Moines, they always offer me a place to stay, a place to park the van, and I really appreciate it. But up next, we're stepping up to the slow fairways. But yeah, the slow fairways. So I start off Pre-Flight Leopard, given to me by Trevor Booney out of the Preserve. Shout out to the Preserve. This disc feels amazing and flies amazing. It's kind of domey. It's got that chalkiness and tackiness that the old school Innova players love, and the flight characteristics of this disc are incredible. I parked hole 16, the Des Moines Challenge with this disc, and plan to do it the next 2 days. Start off with that Leopard. Step up in stability and distance is this old TL. This was in my bag 8 years ago whenever I was throwing open bag. Just whatever I wanted. I carried this TL, and it's sweet. Flies amazing. Slow turn on the fairway shots for however far you throw it, basically. Can roll it, but I haven't had the opportunity to roll it too much. But I love this TL for slow turning fairway shots. It's sweet. All right, next up, disc given to me by Jake Hebenheimer. This was in his bag when he was open bag. It is a Swirl Star KJ T-Bird, KJ Nibo. You guys know this thing is heavily used, and when you hit it, you can do anything with this disc, honestly. It's like a farther mid-range, just like the Leopard is. The Leopard is a perfect step up from a rock to anything. If I just need a little more distance than the rock, I step up to the Leopard. But if I need a little more stability, I'm going to go with this T-Bird right here. This is useful all the time, and it has many uses. If you put it on Annie, it holds Annie. If you put it on hyzer, it flips up a little bit and just holds straight. You can throw really consistent shots with that disc. Next up is one of the sweetest discs in the bag, given to me by Calvin Heimberg. I got one of those amazing Champion Eagles that he makes look so good. I use it for straight pushing fairway shots that I don't want to have much turn at all, or any turn to the right and drop left. I would just say this T-Bird has a little bit more glide than this Eagle, and that's about the only difference. I am throwing this Eagle sidearm a little bit, and it works really good for like straighter shots than Firebirds. Like straight wooded shots is really good for flicking this disc. All right, now we're stepping up into the hybrids, and I think this next disc is probably the most surprising disc in my bag. It's actually the second most surprising disc once you see my side pocket, but this is a Star Sidewinder. I am loving how it flies. It's like out of the box, slow, flippy, very incredibly good distance. For a hybrid fairway driver, this is perfect for me. So I use that. If I need more stability than that, I will be throwing this First Run PD. This is an Innova made disc from back in the day when they were making Discmania stuff, and it is one of the more sought after discs that they've ever made. This is awesome. It handles wind really good. It goes really far and just holds lines for a very long time. So PD, C-Line PD. If I need a little step up in stability from the PD, I will go straight to the Champion Firebird, which is my, I would say, all-time favorite Innova disc, mostly because of the name. I think the name is really cool, and it made me buy the disc when I was 12 years old. And even though it wasn't a disc for a 12-year-old, but I made it work because I would sling it on sidearms on Annie and get it to fly. This champion this champion Firebird was given to me by Jake Hebenheimer with the help of Zach Johnson, who was in control of it. So thank you, boys, for the disc. This is a sick one. I love orange. Orange is my favorite color. This burnt orange is just looking so sweet, and it's fun to throw this disc whenever I can. It is a very straight Firebird, perfect complement to the PD, just like a little more hook up at the end. So fairway lineup is looking good. Last is a Champion Firebird Factory Second. This was given to me by Calvin, but this was given to me by Calvin back when I threw a mixed bag a long time ago, and I found it in my garage, and he gave it to, or I found it in my garage and put it right back in the bag because it's just a perfect example of a really solid Firebird. Very stiff, very flat, no turn to the right in any wind, doesn't matter what, doesn't matter what, and dependable fade, spiking fade. All right, one step on top of that, disc given to me by Jake Hebenheimer, Flat Top Champ Max. This is insanely used. It has bubbles in the rim. Not sure what that means. Some people like them, some people don't. Sometimes it just depends. But this is going to be my straight up and down grenade disc, as well as if I need a little bit more distance than the Firebird, I step up to the Max, and it's got the same stability but more speed, so more distance for me. All right, and that brings me to my drivers. Looks like I have 6 of them in here right now. I lack flippy drivers right now. I need to bag one more really flippy guy. This is my first one. It's a Avery Jenkins Star Destroyer given to me by Mitchell Jordan out of BRP. Shout out to the Blue Ribbon Pines crew. You guys are amazing. If anybody else ever get the chance to pass through Minneapolis, hour up north, Blue Ribbon Pines, one of the best courses in the whole world. This is a really flippy destroyer. I'm throwing it for grenades right now, for grenades that I do want to pan out. This isn't the craziest flippy thing like the green reverb that I was throwing in my last lineup. So I don't get quite as much distance on that grenade, but it's really consistent, and I'm throwing it probably 350 on a 350, a little more, maybe 375 on a grenade line with this disc. But anytime you introduce flippiness into grenades, you got to be really careful. You got to know what the wind's doing, and you got to be pretty accurate because your miss will be amplified. This is the flippiest one, but it's not crazy flippy. I think I need one flippier. So I'll be looking through my stash for a flippier disc to put right there. Next up, my most thrown driver, I would say, is this Star Destroyer, Paul Macbeth run. It is a disc that it feels perfect on the outside. I got it new. There is 0 flashing on the whole disc. So it's just like got such smooth flight characteristics. This particular one takes my hyzer, and if I throw it full hyzer, it takes it and it just goes straight as far as possible. So straight tee shots, I'm looking for the Star Destroyer right here. Throwing it for sidearms, absolutely. I just played in an event, a Champs vs. Chumps event at Ewing Park in Des Moines, and I threw this disc on hole 18, and they said it was the farthest shot that they've ever seen on that hole. I think I probably threw it 600 foot at least on flat ground. But the point is, it just takes the hyzer and never, if you give it enough power, it'll just go straight forever. So loving that disc. Next on top of that, I've got one of those Star Dayglow Destroyers. This is a pop top disc with a lot of stability, but it's heavily used. So it's probably become a little bit slower getting closer to the Wraith with the loss of the edge that we're having here. But it has very overstable characteristics, but since it's so used, it has the understability there. If you throw it really hard, you're going to get it to pan out and then come back. So it is more stable than the Peach Guy right there, but not by much, just a little bit. it feels amazing. Dayglow Destroyers, this is the only one I've ever had. So thanks, Jake. Hopefully it gets to do some sweet things before I throw it into a pond. All right, next up is this sick purple Star Destroyer that was being thrown, it looks like, by AB back in the day. Back in the day, the kid's young, 5 years ago maybe. He would bag these purple ones. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I do remember that. And this is just a similar stability to that yellow guy right there. Haven't quite figured out if it's more overstable or less overstable than the yellow one just yet, but they're similar. And discs like this, you want to have multiples, because when you're on the course, you want to throw one and then throw another, and then just like kind of like learn the flights of the disc as you're throwing them like that. So it's good to have multiples for sure. Right, and the last two in the main compartment are the Germ Halo Boss. I could go on for days about this disc, but I'll keep it short. It's the best disc that I've ever thrown in my entire life of playing disc golf. It has the pop top, which gives it that glide, but it also has a very high parting line right here, which gives it the stability. So it takes my power, it just goes straight, and it always finishes left. This thing, you can throw it into headwinds and still get the amazing distance that it has without headwinds. It does work. So I'm looking on finding about 30 more of these for the rest of my life. If I was you, I would be on the lookout for them also. If you've got some power in your throw, there is not a better disc to throw than the Halo Star Boss. And the last disc is another Boss, and it's an older Champion Boss. It's got Jim Oates' signature right here on it, PDGA 3351. So old school disc golfer right there. And most Champ Bosses, this is from 2013, I think the stamp says, yeah. Most Champ Bosses are flatter, a little bit glidier, but the ones that I'm liking or have liked a lot are these very domey ones with the high parting line. They're very stiff and very overstable, but they also get insane distance too. So I'm sidearming them, backhanding them, whatever. The color on this thing's amazing. It's easily one of my favorite discs in my bag. And that's almost it. As you can see, I've got the pound bag here. I didn't even mention that yet, but Jeremy Colling, you are the man. Germ saw me walking out without an Innova bag because I hadn't got one yet, and he immediately was like, dude, I got a bag for you. He gave me his backup pound bag. It is the party edition. So he has two editions of pound bags. He has the party, which is this color, and he has the earth, which is the color that he's using right now, obviously, but also it's the color that I got off the Pound site. Shout out to Levi from Pound Disc Golf. Immediately hearing whenever I'm interested in looking for a bag, he reached out to me and he got something in the mail, and it's not here yet, but I wanted to just get the bag out to you guys first. But I'm using the same bag anyways. It's just Germ's bag, and he really wants it back. And I can tell he really wants it back every time I talk to him about the bag. So thank you, Levi, getting me a bag in the mail so fast. I'm going to get that on Monday. It's Friday right now, but very excited for that. I won't be officially sponsored by Pound, but we're working on that for next year. And I mean, that doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't go get you one for yourselves. The Earth bag is the one I chose. It's like chiller, but I'm all about the party bag too. And Nate Sexton has two versions also on that website. They've got all kinds of random stuff on the website too, like towels, coolers, hats, really cool stuff. Great website. Go check them out. Highly recommend it. But the last compartment, I've got a couple discs over here. The first one, a GG Champion Halo Wraith. This guy gave me this a couple days ago. He saw me. He's like, hey, I got a disc for you. He hooked it up with his Champion Halo Wraith. Pretty pop top, very glidey, and if it fits in the, it does fit in the bag. I would even throw it, but like right here, we've got the normal Destroyer distance driver to the really flippy distance driver. I would put it, because this is a little slower, so I would put it right there on top of the Champion Max, which is very overstable. But I would say if I want like a PD shot or Thunderbird shot or the KJ T-Bird shot, if I want it to go a little bit farther, step up to the Champion Wraith. It's working pretty good. I'm just trying to figure it out. So that's why it's over here right now. But I also have these two putters that I'm goofing around with. They are the Invaders. This is XT plastic. So the hardest thing for my switch so far has been the deepness of the AVRs and me being able to get the pop that I want off of the putter. I'm putting pretty good with AVRs, but recently at Majestic, I missed way more inside the circle putts than I've missed in a long time. And it's just because I'm not quite feeling the pop come off my hands yet. And with these, I feel it. The pop is there. I just want to make sure that the flight characteristics are there. I don't want it to be too fast. You don't want to putt with something fast. I want it to do good in the wind. So I'm just testing them out right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up putting with these later. My first impression was really good with them. So that's everything that I have in my bag right now. That is, I've been building it, and this is the moment where I'm like, I feel pretty confident that this is a good lineup and I can at least share it with you guys. And I'm not gonna like tomorrow totally switch up everything. This is a pretty good lineup of what I'm working with. I can't wait to get a couple more rocks in there just for some stability differences, and then just understanding those drivers is gonna be very important too, because I understand them in no wind, but in wind is a different story. You're amplifying everything, and I just want to get a little bit more used to that. So thank you guys so much for joining me for the In the Bag. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, shoot them down in the comments, and I would love to help out. We'll see you guys next time.